Good Friday, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Conversation Daily News. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. Well, we made it to the end of another week. We, of course, have your news headlines coming up on this Friday. We have the truth of the day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich, and in today's entertainment spotlight, you've been part of my conversation with Gary Culp, the Chief Growth Officer at Sigma, discussing this year's Medicare's annual enrollment period that begins today. Enjoy today's program. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with your Friday headlines. In national news, FDA panel endorses lower dose Moderna COVID shot for booster. U.S. Health Advisor said Thursday that some Americans who received Moderna's COVID-19 vaccine at least 6 months ago should get a half-dose booster to rev up protection against the coronavirus. The panel of outside advisors to the Food and Drug Administration voted unanimously to recommend a booster shot for seniors as well as younger adults with other health problems, jobs, or living situations that put them at increased risk from COVID-19. The recommendation is non-binding, but it's a key step toward expanding the U.S. booster campaign to millions more Americans. Many people who got their initial Pfizer shots at least 6 months ago are already getting a booster after the FDA authorized their use last month, and those are the same high-risk groups that FDA advisors said should get a Moderna booster. But there's no evidence that it's time to open booster doses of either the Moderna or Pfizer vaccine to everyone, the panel stressed, despite initial Biden administration plans to eventually do just that. The coronavirus still is mostly a threat to unvaccinated people, while the vaccinated have strong protection against severe illness or death from COVID-19. As for the dose, initial Moderna vaccination consists of two 100 microgram shots, but Moderna says a single 50 microgram shot should be enough for a booster. The agency convened its experts to weigh in on who should get boosters and when for those who received the Moderna and Johnson & Johnson shots earlier this year. The panel will discuss Johnson & Johnson today. The FDA will use its advisor's recommendation in making final decisions for boosters from both companies. Assuming a positive decision, there's still another hurdle. Next week, a panel convened by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention will offer more specifics on who should get one. In a related story, nursing schools see applications rise despite COVID burnout. Nurses around the U.S. are getting burned out by the COVID-19 crisis and quitting, yet applications to nursing schools are rising, driven by what educators say are young people who see the global emergency as an opportunity and a challenge. Among them is University of Connecticut sophomore Brianna Monte, a 19-year-old from New York who had been considering majoring in education but decided on nursing after watching nurses care for her 84-year-old grandmother who was diagnosed last year with COVID-19 and also had cancer. They were switching out their protective gear in between every patient, running like crazy trying to make sure all of their patients were attended to, she said. I had that moment of clarity that made me want to jump right into healthcare and join the workers on the front line. Nationally, enrollment in bachelor's, master's, and doctoral nursing programs increased 5.6% in 2020 from the year before to just over 250,000 students, according to the American Association of Colleges of Nurses. In more national news, Lucy in the Sky spacecraft will visit record 8 asteroids. Attention asteroid aficionados, NASA is set to launch a series of spacecraft to visit and even bash some of the solar system's most enticing space rocks. The robotic trailblazer named Lucy is up first, blasting off this weekend on a 12-year cruise to swarms of asteroids out near Jupiter, unexplored time capsules from the dawn of the solar system. And yes, there will be diamonds in the sky with Lucy on one of its science instruments, as well as lyrics from other Beatles songs. In more national news, quarreling Dems must put aside differences, Schumer warns on Thursday. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer warned fellow Democrats on Thursday they must put aside our differences as the party struggles to coalesce around President Joe Biden's huge but now scaled-back package of social services and climate change strategies. Schumer's letter to colleagues comes as progressive leaders in Congress are steering them away from what the progressives call a false choice over what to keep or cut as Democrats labor to trim what had been a $3.5 trillion proposal to about $2 trillion. As with any bill of such historic proportions, not every member will get everything he or she wants, Schumer wrote in his letter. The New York Democrat implored his colleagues to find a common ground. And finally, in entertainment news, Cher sues heirs of Sonny Bono over song and record revenue. Cher has sued the widow of her former musical partner and ex-husband, Sonny Bono, over royalties for Sonny and Cher songs, including I Got You Babe and The Beat Goes On. In a federal lawsuit filed in Los Angeles this week, Cher alleges that the former representative Mary Bono and other defendants have attempted to terminate provisions of business agreements Cher and Sonny Bono reached when they divorced in 1975 that entitled each to 50% of songwriting and recording royalties. Cyrus Webb, Conversational Daily News. It's now time for the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich. Mary Ellen, take it away.
Hi, this is Mary Ellen with your Truth of the Day. Become successful. Get out of your own way. It is amazing how often you can get in your own way without even being aware of what you are doing. You think you want to succeed, yet there are so many reasons why you may want to block your own efforts. It may be subconsciously you are afraid to succeed, so you create reasons to keep yourself stuck. It may be you make your goals so difficult that no one could ever achieve them, or you approach your goals in a way that it keeps creating the same results over and over again. If you believe you're standing in your own way, take out a piece of paper and record your progress so far. Write down all the choices you made, your efforts, any fears that may have prompted your decisions to keep you stuck. Honestly look at what you wrote down, and next time, choose differently. Today, face any obstacles that are blocking you. Let go and find success as you go about to enjoy the day.
Gary Kopp, the Chief Growth Officer at Sigma, is featured in today's Entertainment Spotlight. We're here on Conversation Daily News. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with the Entertainment Spotlight. Gary Kopp, Medicare Advantage expert, Chief Growth Officer at Sigma, joined me recently on Conversations Live, the radio show, to talk about Medicare's annual enrollment period that opens up today. Here's a bit of our conversation. Talk to us a little bit about this year and what you all are expecting.
You know, this year in particular, like every year, really members of actually original Medicare should be considering what options are available to them and making decisions around what is best for them for this upcoming year. So you'd already mentioned that the annual election period starts on the 15th and it runs through December 7th for this upcoming year.
So a lot of times when we're watching television, I know for myself, you'll hear people talk about Medicare, but also, of course, they'll talk about Medicare Advantage. Talk to us about the differences there, Gary, when it comes to Medicare Advantage as opposed to original Medicare coverage.
Sure. The nice thing about Medicare Advantage plans is they actually can offer additional benefits above and beyond what original Medicare offers. For example, many members actually select a Medicare Advantage plan because they offer prescription drug plan included in the Medicare, as well as fitness programs, transportation, dental, vision, and hearing benefits that you would not get in traditional Medicare.
And I think, for a lot of people, as they're kind of thinking about the next year, of course, we've all been through a lot, Gary, over the past 18 months or so. What should people consider when choosing their health benefits for next year?
For next year, what I would say is a couple of things. One is take a look at the network. Make sure that the doctors that you're looking for are in the network for the plan that you're choosing, as well as take a look at the pharmacy benefits, so what prescription drugs are important to you in terms of coverage as you're looking at the plans for next year.
Gary, I know for my mom, as we were making plans last year, we were glad to see that telehealth was something that was available for her that she definitely benefited from as well. With that in mind, COVID-19 has changed so much. How has that impacted the priorities of what people are looking for when it comes to their plans?
Such an important point, because you're right. This last year, 18 months, has really made people realize that having telehealth as part of their benefit is an important benefit. Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. We thank you all for tuning in to this edition of Conversations Daily News. We'll be back with you guys on Monday with more news, Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich, and of course your entertainment spotlight. Until then, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Daily News today. Let's make today amazing. Take care.